Clotho! Clotho!
Tick, 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 tick on the wall. Maybe you could have it all. Get down on your knees and pray. Maybe she will let you stay. Good enough if you play the game. Here comes the music, don't resist. Gotta keep on moving. Here comes the music, just give in. Gotta keep on moving.
Nice. Okay.
Sick.
I think we're in it now, are we in it?
I think we're in it.
Welcome everybody to A Court of Bros and Broses. I was trying to bring some energy. Alright, welcome everyone. This is A Court of Bros and Broses. This is a podcast where three straight men are on a journey through Sarah J. Maas's Court of Thorns and Roses. And maybe we learn a little something along the way. I'm Nirav, and I'm your host, and we are back after a long time moving on to some new stuff. I'm joined by my co-hosts, Patrick.
Hello, I'm excited to be talking about new content for the first time in 3 months.
Yes, and Ian.
Hello. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Ian's excited to
right.
be talking about the new content for the first time in 3 weeks.
Yeah, 3 weeks. So we've we've really done it. Yeah, I know it hasn't been spaced out that much as far as when we recorded episodes and stuff, but for me and Patrick, we had stopped at the last set of chapters literally over 3 months ago, and then have just continued reading the book now, which was a very weird place to pause for such a long time.
Yeah, I think after chapter 10 would have been nice if Joe could have told us in advance he was quitting the podcast. We could have planned that better.
Yeah, so I was trying to figure out what we want to do for an opening here today. Should we talk about the war?
Which war, Nero?
The war that we're in now. The real one.
The real one? I do not think we should talk about that.
We should not talk about it, but please petition your Congress people. Please write them letters.
Yeah.
Send in phone
I
calls.
really don't want to have to talk about that shit.
We're not going to. I just wanted to make
this
a
is an
PSA.
escape for our listeners. Can you imagine if someone turns on the news, they're like, oh man, it sucks a lot. At least I have my bros to listen to, and the first thing we talk about is the world sucking a lot.
Or what if they turned on CNN and they were talking about A Court of Thorns and Roses instead of that?
Oh, so then so you're saying our listeners are relying on us for current events?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In our world, yeah. No, but anyway, we are. Yeah, no, I'm excited to continue the book. I completely had forgotten a lot of this, so I did have to kind of scan through some of it again from the. And again, shout out to our friend at Reviews from a Bookworm. Her blog has been invaluable.
I like to think that at some point in time, someone will tell her about this podcast and how much
we could tell
rely
her.
on her.
We could see if she wants to jump on.
That'd be awesome, honestly.
Actually, that would be a great.
Unironically, we talk about having Sarah as a guest a lot, but the Reviews for a Bookworm lady is probably gonna be.
That seems way more attainable. Okay, I'll look into that. Okay, so yeah, let's. Are we just gonna jump into it? I'm looking around my room to see things about we could talk about to get us into it.
Are you doing like Brick from Anchorman? You're looking around your room and looking for things you can say. I love lamp. You do have a lamp behind you.
I do love this lamp actually. I do want to say that. It's got a nice little Zen garden.
It's a pretty good lamp.
Fountain under it with a Buddha statue in there.
It is a pretty lamp. It does look like I have to make most of my furniture purchasing decisions nowadays based on what I think will hurt my toddler less.
Yeah,
and looking at that thing, that looks dangerous. There's stuff on it. The whole thing could topple over. It just looks.
But in addition, I do have a baby gate right outside so that the dog does not run in and smash into it. So
smart.
that baby gate would also keep out any unwanted toddlers. Oh, actually, this is a good thing I could talk about. Speaking of toddlers, so I spent the last week for Christmas at my girlfriend's family's house in southern rural Alabama on the farm, 10 miles from the nearest building. And, yeah, it was one of those places. Well, but shout out, her parents are very nice people, obviously. But I will say, so her nieces and nephews, It's her sister's 2 kids and her boyfriend's 2 kids, but there's 4 of them total, which is so many toddlers. They're not toddlers. They're ages 3 to 6, I think. But they are. I have not had a lot of prolonged experience with children that I'm directly responsible for before. You know what I mean? And so,
Are you directly responsible for these children?
well, we were in
Maybe
charge of
indirectly responsible.
Well, we're actually in charge of babysitting them for like a very long stretch of 6 hours one day.
Oh, okay.
So that is kind of where this started. But like, it turns out when there's 4 of them, like every time you've like managed to wrestle one to the ground, like another 2 are able to get you, and there's still a 4th one who's like in the wings, and like it is genuinely impossible to like wrangle all 4 of them at the same time, because every time you get 2 of them down, the 3rd one will just start riling up the 4th one to come at you again.
Are these 4 kids from the same parents, or are these different?
So they're Lydia's my girlfriend's sister's 2 kids, and then her boyfriend's 2 kids.
Oh,
So,
okay.
Yeah.
So that's really yeah.
But they've teamed up. I love them so much. They've teamed up into a single powerful unified front. And
So did they do that thing that kids do where they stand on top of his shoulders to make kind of like a Megazord-esque child mech?
Here's what they love being part of the child mech, but what they really like is they want to each grab like one of my arms as like an arm bar kind of thing, and then latch onto it, and then me to make Hulk sounds and lift them in the air and swing them around in the sky as they hold on for dear life.
Oh, so they want you to basically reenact like the Hulkbuster versus Hulk fight.
They love the Hulk.
They are the Hulkbuster mech, and you are the Hulk.
I don't think they know what the Hulk is, but like they love the Hulk sounds, and like when I'm like, it's like Hulk smashed, like yeah, he smashes. But they also have a trampoline, and so what they were insisting I do for literally a straight half hour of this was picking them up and slamming them like WWE, like slamming them into the trampoline like full body. It was like they were the happiest they've been in their whole lives. And I
can't
came
wait
to the
for my
conclusion,
son.
Like, children just want to be like attacked.
They do. I can't wait for my son to be a little older where I can roughhouse him a little more, because he turns 2 soon, and I can like slam him on the bed, but I have to be a little careful because he's still just like, he's not quite big enough where I can fully roughhouse with him. But once I can, freaking game on.
Do you think he's gonna fight back?
You're gonna go full out.
Some of them will fight back, and some of them will be like, haha.
Honestly, I don't know. Right now, he'll just say again. Like, I'll throw him on the bed, and then he'll crawl off the bed and say, more. He says more again. And I'll just do it again.
As a reference, of course, to the character Morrigan from these books.
Yeah.
Yes.
He'll say more again enough, and then eventually he'll say, all done, and then he'll run away. So it's very... imagine our listeners who have been waiting for us to talk about new content for months, and here we are just killing time.
What? Okay,
we probably should get into it, because we are going to talk about...
We do have to talk about, yeah.
We're going to get Ian's input on chapters 1 through 17, hopefully as quickly as possible before we get to the new content, so this episode doesn't run too long. Yeah. I do have to add that due to the time it is, Alexa and Tito will be home sometime during this recording, so I'll have to mute myself on and off. Somehow they'll be home.
All right. So Ian, what did you
blindfolded them and drove them into an unknown location and dropped them off and said, "Find your way home." So they'll be here somehow.
Okay. Well, I was just leaving a little gap of time for when they clip that out to play in the courtroom.
All right. Okay. Before we get into the new stuff, so Ian, chapters 1 through 10 is kind of a pretty good self-contained chunk. Refresh me on what happened during that chunk, and fill in your thoughts as that's happening.
So we start with this flashback for Raisan to the war, I believe, and just get some great humanizing moments where he's looking for, I think, the other 2 on the battlefield. Yeah,
I forgot about that, because there's that chapter serves no real purpose.
It doesn't seem like it so far, but
I'm sure it'll come back around by the end.
Maybe when we get to the new war, there'll be like parallelism where it happens again.
Yeah,
where someone's looking for Rysand.
Lord of the Rings situation.
Corpses.
Yeah, so yeah, I guess we'll jump forward to like Feyre at the court. So
yeah. So Feyre's back at Spring Court, doing her dastardly deeds, pitting people against each other. I actually really appreciated the way it was written, because it actually felt like you could see what she was doing, how she was putting people against each other, sort of how her plan was developing to destabilize the court. I feel like it would have been, or maybe not oftentimes, but sometimes you see where people have these intricate plans, but you don't really get to see how they're really being put into action. You just see suddenly they happen and everything falls apart. So it was a cool way to see throughout, like, she was manipulating the priestess, she was manipulating Lucian against Tamlin and Tamlin against Lucian. She's manipulating the guards against Tamlin. She was also trying to get information because the twins and Jurin, I think was his name. The human
Jurian.
Yeah, Jurian.
I keep forgetting that you're reading the book, not listening to it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yes.
I've never read a book in my life.
Yeah, Nirav and I have a strong anti-reading stance on this book podcast.
Which is also, I think, how you ended up with Rysand, which I think Rachel said that she's also a Rysand defender. Is that right?
Yeah.
Because there's two camps of people who are still fighting it out about how to pronounce his name.
Yeah, and
Rysand sounds like something you say if you're like ordering food at a restaurant. You're like, yeah, I'll have some rice and
beans. Yeah.
Yeah, rice and beans.
Yeah,
That's a good tie-in. If you ever do an Akatar like restaurant tie-in,
like the fucking Denny's Hobbit meal.
Yeah, the rice and beans.
The rice and beans. Oh man, they got to be like black beans though, like to show his dark soul.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like, and they use like squid ink to make it dark rice as well.
Ooh, that could be fun.
Ooh,
Shadow Daddy rice and beans.
Shadow Daddy. They do that in Japan a lot. They'll use like squid ink to like color stuff black, which is cool. Anyway, go on, Ian.
Where was I? The twins and Jurian came to inspect the wall, and we get a hint of their plan to use the cauldron to widen the holes in the wall in order to break it down. We learned that they can't just destroy the wall outright, but we don't get a ton of information as to why that is.
I don't think we still ever do. Well, I mean, we're not that far ahead, but
we're only
like maybe we'll find out later. But I remember when we read this the first time, we were like, the all-powerful cauldron has its limits, apparently.
Mm-hmm. It's better than just being like anything they want to happen can happen because they have the cauldron.
That's probably for
at
the
least
best.
There's some limitations. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, Nirav.
Oh no, I was gonna. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and then her plans finally come together after she's like has the holy moment in front of everyone on what is that, the like spring solstice or something, spring festival.
Yeah. This is not Fire Fuck Fest, right?
No, this is summer. This is summer solstice, I think, right?
Yeah.
Okay. This is White Boy Summerfest.
We do learn that Lucian participated in Fire Fuck Fest instead of Tamlin with the priestess lady.
Yeah. Not great.
No.
Well, I think it worth reminding everyone that it was like under duress. Was not something he like volunteered to do.
Yeah, it was. Well, Tamlin volunteered him to do it, which is
he voluntold him. Yeah.
Yeah, very cool, Tamlin.
Yeah. Yeah, we get more Tamlin being kind of shitty and not having a backbone and not really like doing anything about the fact that they've sold their soul to the evil king and now have his generals in their court and are betraying everyone else. So that's fun. More more concrete reasons to dislike Tamlin and who he's become. And then, yeah, I think she finally gets her moment to strike, fucks up the priestess. Is it Ianthe?
Oh, well, so Ianthe, yeah. Ianthe is the one, yeah. She's out in the the clearing with Lucian, and that's when she fucks up her hands and everything.
That was cool. Gets to kill the twins. That was also cool. We have
with Lucian actually helping, which is
So,
which was good.
Yeah. So just a quick question. Did you think that whenever Feyre escaped that Lucian was going to run with her right then?
I didn't. I thought there'd be I think we talked about this last time. Thought there would be some moment for Lucian to start redeeming himself. But I didn't necessarily think it would be him going with her. What about y'all? Did y'all have that impression immediately?
I hear what I feel like we were thinking that Lucian would end up with the Night Court.
He would end up working with the Night Court
at
later.
some point.
Yeah.
But not immediately. Though.
I did not think that he was going to run with Feyre when she ran, basically. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think that the next bit is when they're running through the Autumn Court, and then they have that encounter with Lucian's brothers as they're moving into the Winter Court, right?
Yes. Yeah, we get a little tour of some of the other courts. And then the battle on the lake, the frozen lake.
That was pretty cool, if I remember. I think Cassian flew in and started just kicking people in the jaw.
Yeah, it was pretty great.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, because Lucian and Feyre are exhausted and barely holding on, and then they get rescued by Cassian and
Azriel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, then we get to the Night Court, and there's basically I think there is a little bit of them meeting with Lucian and then seeing Elaine and Nesta, right? In the first part.
Yeah. And there's a little sex scene.
Oh, yes.
Sexy bath scene followed by sex scene. It's pretty good. And then
you get a 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
I mean, they certainly waste less time in this book getting to the sex than they did in the last two books. Probably because Feyre's actually in a good, healthy relationship now.
That's true. She's married.
Mm-hmm.
I like how she's married. Is the implication there that if she's not married, she can't have sex?
No, but I feel like you have less will they, won't they with your husband and or wife than you do with
that's valid.
your friend.
That's usually true. Although I think there are a lot of reality shows that would beg to differ.
You could try some will they, won't they role play with your significant other.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
You could make a fun little deck of cards that is romantic tropes, and you pull a fun one out every night. So one night you draw every week, whatever you want to do. You pull one out, you go, ooh, only one bed tonight. We get to sleep in one bed and see what happens.
One bed. We get to simulate the act of having one bed in our fucking 500 square foot apartment.
Yeah.
Okay, so
move the other twin bed to a different room.
Oh wait, we should do it like they did in TV shows in the 50s, where it's two twin beds that are 5 feet apart from each other in the same room. It's all right, good night, husband.
That's how Alexa.
Good night, wife.
Huh?
Okay, but unironically, jokes aside, I actually know married couples, or not necessarily married, but couples who are been together for a while who have to sleep in separate beds because one of them is such a light sleeper and one of them thrashes in their sleep. Which is very unfortunate.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
but I guess that card will be useful for them.
Yeah. I think what else was there? Basically just some stuff about like Nesta being a little unpleasant.
Elaine being highly traumatized.
Yeah, dead inside. She did not do well.
Hints that something's up with Nesta.
Which I think we get a little taste of later in these chapters here, like what is weird about her.
Yeah, I'll admit I was pretty mad about her, like mad at her, like the entire time. I'm like, please, Nesta, just like cooperate in some capacity. But then we get a little bit of insight that like maybe what she's gone through has been pretty rough. And then also what Rachel kind of talked about in, I think it was in our roundtable episode from book 2, she likened what happened to Nesta and Elaine as basically like non-consensual, like sexual assault, basically, like the parallel for that. So Nesta not wanting to talk about it in any capacity is not necessarily like unreasonable with that as a parallel for it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
However, I wish she would do it in a less frustrating way.
Yes. We're getting a little ahead of ourselves, but
yeah,
that came up, so I wanted that popped into my mind.
So
we'll talk about it again when that comes up.
Yeah. Oh, and the last thing was that they've called the big meeting of all the High Lords, which has not happened yet, but they have summoned everybody, including Tamlin, if he wishes to show up. Which we still don't find out in these chapters, but I don't know. I'm curious if he shows up or not.
So we expected him. What we talked about, we thought, actually, before I say what our thoughts are, Ian, what do you think? Do you think Tamlin's going to show up?
I'm curious if Tamlin's even going to be able to show up with all the shit going down in the Spring Court. I wonder if they may use that as a bargaining chip with the other courts. Maybe along the lines of, the Spring Court aligned themselves with Hyberin, and look at them now. They can't, like, Tamlin's not even here. But I'm not sure.
Yeah,
What did y'all think previously?
We thought he wouldn't show up because he's been, like, cuckolded so insanely that
twice,
like his reputation his reputation is basically like non-existent. So even if it weren't for the Hybern stuff, like to show up to a meeting and he's gonna see the, like, allegedly she ran off with Lucian, right? So like Lucian, Farah, and Reese are all going to be at this meeting, and can you imagine Tamlin? Like, there's no way.
No, like he thinks that Farah and Lucian are on some sort of like cuck quest right now. Like,
yeah,
and they're.
I mean, aside from that, from like a writing standpoint,
I don't know if Tamlin thinks that specifically, but everyone else in the kingdom does, because that is kind of
because I think word's probably made it back to him by now. Considering how the courts gossip, as we found out, he probably knows that they're both in the Night Court right now.
Yeah.
But, like, I mean, the whole thing with the 2 dead generals, I didn't think that was... Is that what I don't... Was that what was implied? That, like, everyone thinks they ran off together to be in love? Or...
I feel like I remember Eris saying something, right?
Someone said something to that effect where, like, the people have been observing, like, that Lucian and Farah seem to be, like, pretty buddy-buddy while she's been physically staying away from Tamlin, plus, like, that encounter with him and all that, like, in his study. And then Lucian comes in to, like, help her and all that, like... So I think
that was her painting a picture for Tamlin to make Tamlin jealous.
Right. But I think
and also to... Oh, sorry.
No, good.
I was also going to say, and to make everyone see Tamlin as a monster.
Yes.
Yeah, as a monster.
Yeah. One of the Munsters.
Yeah.
Which monster... we're going to make an online quiz for which monster is each Akatar character.
I wish I knew the names of any of the monsters.
I don't know any monster names at all.
Can I share something? I think until like a year or two ago, I thought the Munsters was the cartoon all real monsters.
Oh, I
from
never
Cartoon
thought
Network.
that. But I do get like Munsters kind of confused with the Addams Family side characters in my
No,
head.
that's fair. They're very Addams Family-esque. I think there's even one that literally looks exactly like Lurch and does all the same things.
Well, Lurch is kind of just like a Frankenstein's monster-esque character anyways.
The family at 1313 Mockingbird Lane is a little
we don't
different.
need to... I don't know if we actually need to talk about Munster character names.
Okay. Anyway.
Yeah, so I think also from a writing standpoint, like Sarah's also been pretty clear that she doesn't give a shit about Tamlin. So like I remember in the second book, like, so you don't know this, Ian, but in the second book, there was an ongoing bit where I predicted, in this chunk of episodes, now Tamlin's going to come back. Because I kept predicting, like, when is Tamlin going to come back, and when are we going to get the fallback for Feyre leaving Tamlin in book 2? And then we didn't see him until, like, the final chapter, right? So, like, I don't think we're going to go that long without seeing Tamlin, but I also think she's made it pretty clear that, like, the fallout of what happens to, like, what Tamlin's feelings are doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if we're going to get a confrontation this early on. We probably will get some sort of, but I think he's just not going to show up.
Yeah, I think so, because I think he will show up a little later, and like, like I said, again, repeating, like, I would love for him to have some sort of, like, redemption, although I don't know what that even looks like at this point, considering how shitty he's been. But
You'd like to see Tamlin get a redemption?
I mean, I would like to. I think what I've said pretty consistently is, like, I would like for him to, like, redeem himself for betraying the kingdom and everything in some fashion by the end of this book, but I don't, like, foresee a situation in which that is done satisfactorily anymore.
Considering how low they've made him, I don't know. Because I remember, Ian, at the end of the last book, you were kind of like, oh, like, Tamlin, I don't know, like, he's been kind of painted really badly as, like, as the bad guy in his actions or whatever. But, like, I mean, have your feelings on Tamlin changed at all or evolved in any capacity, given what he was like in the beginning of this book?
Yes, I do. I am more firmly in the Tamlin sucks camp now.
That's good.
Yeah.
But I do sort of agree that I kind of get the vibe that we're preparing for some sort of redemption. I mean, there was the whole, like, what stood out to me was, I don't remember who, but someone suggested him giving back Rhysand's family's wings to sort of, like, appease the Night Court. And he's like, oh, I didn't keep those as trophies. Or...
Yeah, what we consistently have kind of discovered in that his Tamlin isn't like an evil person.
He's not evil. He's stupid.
He's just he's so dumb.
So dumb.
He is just so dumb and like doesn't think about others. He doesn't like have any empathy. He just like he's not evil. He's just a stupid, unempathetic guy. Like what he thinks is the way, this is the way I think. This must be correct. It's that kind of person. He is, abusive and controlling, but like none of it is out of some sort of evilness. It's just because he doesn't know any better. So you'd like to hope that like ignorance gets fixed in some way, but I'm not necessarily rooting.
Yeah, like I don't even know how
so,
you would. I don't know how you would do that, but that's why I guess that's why I didn't write these books. All right, let's get moving on the new stuff. So, basically, Rhys lets everyone know, like, okay, we have to go down to the Court of Nightmares, to meet Kier, not from Severance, but from this book, which all I could think about every time they said his name.
I said that when we recorded that episode last time. I was like, "Oh, there's a Severance reference in this." And you're like, "What are you talking about?" And I was like, "Kier."
Kier. Kier is also it's an Indian sort of like rice pudding dessert. Very, very good.
I think I've had that before, actually.
Yeah, check it out. Okay, so basically they have to ask Kier for the Court of Nightmares army because he actually has basically the Court of Nightmares has some independence, even though they're technically under Reese. They have some sort of sovereignty over their army and when they choose to like fight. And so he basically has to go ask them and, of course, be prepared to make some sort of deal if Kier wants something in return. Feyre also tells them, like, hey, like, I found out I can, like, shapeshift to create, like, wings, and that I want to learn how to fly. And I learn how, like, because we're going to be fighting with and against Illyrians, too. Like, I want to be able to fly in the air and fight. Which is ambitious. But, I think that
I mean, it's pretty cool. Like the idea of her, I think by the end of the book she'll be good at flying, and I'm pretty stoked to see like Feyre, master of the elements, also flying.
No, that's cool.
Yeah.
But I also think that, and I think somebody mentions it here. Maybe it's Cassian, but like they might be looking at 2 or 3 weeks before this battle happens, right? Like we have no idea how soon it's going to be, and like how much training time she's going to have. So. But
I think it'll be longer than a couple of weeks, though.
Yeah.
Like, just based on how many pages are left.
How many pages are left in the book? We can metagame it. But yeah, so basically, Azriel agrees to teach her some flight basics as well as some like flight combat things. And Feyre goes off to see Nesta, and I think this is when she is trying to like talk to Nesta about like, hey, will you help us like close up the wall?
That was before the training, I think. Before the training, she's trying to get like they're trying to make a game plan of what is everyone going to do before we go visit the Night Court. And like she trains with Cassian first, then Azriel, and then she does get Nesta to agree to train with Amren.
Yes. And I think
like she was trying to get Nesta to agree to a few things. This is when she asks Nesta, can you talk to everyone? Can you attend to this meeting and tell everyone your experience in this meeting? Because they might not believe us if we just say this happened. But if you're there, even just there with your pointy ears and talk about your experience, that'd be great. And Nesta has a pretty like, honestly, very frustrating. Like she's like, no, fuck off. Like, fuck you. I don't care. I'm not going to like an extremely aggressively no answer, which made me really mad. Like listening to that, I'm like, what the fuck, Nesta? But then like, once again, I just said this before, but once again, if we apply the logic of, okay, this is like sexual assault, what happened to her, and you think about sexual assault victims, and imagine asking a victim of like that to like, do you want to go in front of a room of people you don't know and tell everyone your story? Like 9 out of 10 times they're not going to say yes to that, right? So like,
especially
I understand it.
Just weeks after.
Yeah, very soon after it happened. So I understand Nesta saying no, but I wish she didn't suck so much still about like how she's like very mean. I don't know, man. It's just like the way every time she says anything, I'm like, gosh, I really hate Nesta so much.
I agree with you, and like even if I understand why she would feel that way, it's like everything that she does is just like so antagonistic to like anything we're trying to like progress here, and she just like doesn't fucking care about like anything or anybody, and it's just like anyway. Yeah, so
antagonistic is the right word to use. Like every interaction with her is so antagonistic.
Yeah, and she says and like she says like, if you even think to ask Elaine to do this, I will rip your throat out, and everybody in this room, and everyone's like gets the sense that she really means it, which is cool. I fucking hate this. I fucking hate her. Anyway, all right, let's continue. So, Feyre and Rhys have like a discussion about like putting on like United Front to show their soldiers versus like when it's okay for her to question him. I kind of liked this talk just because it was like reaffirming that like Rhys was like, no, I want you to like challenge me, you know, I don't want you to like go along with things because you think it would look bad to question me, which is, of course, we have an immediate foil to like especially the tithe situation at the beginning of the book.
Yeah.
Right. But I do agree with Feyre at the end where she's like, no, like we're going into war. Like I so appreciate that. But I think it's important for us to like, as like the king and queen here, to like show that we are working towards the same goals together to the public, which I agree with Feyre on that.
But he said to that point, like in front of other people, like, sure, but and not in front of our family, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah, that's true. Yeah, he did say that, which I think is nice also. Which it also is true, you know. That's an...
Yeah.
So,
Rhys and Feyre are a nice couple in that when they have discussions, I'm like, oh, both these people are making very logical points.
They're very mature, yeah.
Yeah.
So, basically, Rhys, also, that we had a little drop of information that there's like a binding spell that is going to happen during the meeting with the High Lords when they wonder about if Tamlin would show up. And if somebody breaks it with violence during this meeting, like, it's likely they would just die. So they kind of mentioned, like, oh, like, Tamlin's not going to show up here and attack us because of this spell. And then also the Summer Court, Grand Moff Tarquin Duck, would not have any reason to take his Blood Ruby revenge at this meeting for the same reason.
And I think she asks, like, which courts do we think will be allies? And I think he says Helion might.
Yeah, Helion of the Day Court.
Yeah, Helion, Master of the Universe.
Master of the Dauniverse, I think, yeah.
Master of the Dauniverse, yeah. And then I think he said maybe the Winter Court as well.
Yeah, so that was, like, way less optimistic than I had thought. Like, I was not thinking that there was, like, we have one, maybe two allies. But I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
I'm really curious. We haven't really met most of the other courts, so I'm kind of excited for this meeting, not only just to see what comes of it, because I really don't even know what to expect, but also just to get more High Lords to kind of to meet them and kind of see what their deal is.
Yeah. We move on to some training. Cassian and Feyre have, like, a good conversation about, like, you know, his frustrations and anger with her, like, about her being High Lady and everything, rather telling them about it. And, you know, of course saying, like, as High Lady, like, we all are sworn to protect you, but we also, like, we wouldn't have put you in danger in Hybern like that if we had known about that.
And Feyre says that's exactly why we didn't tell you.
Yeah.
Like, and then, like, Feyre realizes that Cassian's not just, like, he's, like, actually mad about this. And apparently he and Rhys had it out, too, previously. Mm-hmm. Like, Cassian railed into Rhys about that as well. And then I think this is when it gets really awkward. And then Feyre reaches out to Rhys. And it's like, or is it this, or is this about Nesta? When does it get?
That's when Nesta shows up, and
that you're right.
Like,
yes.
And they ask her to join them training.
Yeah.
And Nesta and Cassian just have that, like, we're gonna fuck at some point.
Yeah, like we are gonna have sex one day.
Just extreme, like, the most aggressive sexual tension of all time.
Right, you would need, like, a chainsaw for this. Basically, Feyre goes to talk to Rhys about checking out the library, which I thought was fun.
Well, first she reaches out to Rhys mentally, is like, save me from this awkward situation, please, I'm begging you. And then Rhys is like, I'm busy, sorry, and then sends Azriel, and then Azriel and her do her flight training, right?
Oh, right.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get a glimpse of, like, how difficult flight training actually is.
Yeah.
Because for her whole first lesson, she's not even trying to fly. She's just practicing using the muscles to lift her wings up and down again. And she's like, oh my God, my entire body hurts.
One thing that Rhys mentioned, which I think is probably going to come into play, is that, like, he also mentioned, even if you're not ready for like, aerial combat, like, if you're able to sprout wings and, like, escape from a situation, like, that could be extremely valuable in the future. So, like, even her mastering the basics of, like, lifting off effectively and stuff would be, like, a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And even later in this section, she combines her rudimentary flying with winnowing, which I thought was pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. She, like, winnows, like, oh, I'm going to winnow into the air and try and fly, and then she just absolutely beefs it.
Yeah, I think one time she winnows to keep herself from beefing it.
But the first time she does it, she like winnows above the balcony. She's like, I can do this, and then she just
Oh
falls
yeah,
and
she just
hits
like
the
fucking
cement.
eats shit. Yeah, I forgot. Like she falls like 20 feet.
Bad.
She's like, thankfully no one was there to see it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so let's see. We start learning about the libraries and the fact that there were like humans that would back in the day of the war, the old war, like humans were hunting for spells that they could use against the Fae, and Reese reveals that some humans have magic abilities because they do have Fae blood in them. And I think I asked this question maybe in the first book a lot, like this can't be like the first human fairy like couple that's existed, and like are they able to bear children like between these two species? Like, yeah, we learned that here that they can, and it used to be something that happened somewhat regularly, but
then when the war happened, they just like killed all, like after the war basically, when it became fair, when fairies and humans became like sworn enemies, all the half-bloods were just like killed or like,
they were essentially rounded up.
ostracized.
Yeah. And then the ones on the other side of the wall in the human realm were basically like ostracized from society if people knew who they were.
But we have to conclude that like the humans' queens probably have some Fae blood in them then, right? Because they were able to winnow, weren't they?
Were they?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
They winnow into the house for the meeting.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Huh.
And Fair was like, what the fuck? Like, I remember Fair being so caught off guard about it. Yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
And they have the magic protecting their castle or whatever.
Yeah, so then we go to the library in the night court and we meet Clotho, which was a strange way to pronounce that. I don't know. But I think that's what they said.
Wait, how is it pronounced?
Didn't they say Clotho in the audiobook?
Clotho sounds like a bad Pokemon.
Or was it Clotho?
Yeah.
I think it's Clotho.
Let's say Clotho. Clotho sounds like a Pokemon that's like a cloth sack with like fucking googly eyes on it.
Clotho.
So yeah, they meet Clotho and we hear about like the most tragic backstory of all time.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I was like why did you guys do this?
She's blind because she was taken advantage of by men, and then they tore her eyes out,
and her
then they
tongue,
also like ripped her tongue out,
her and destroyed her hands, so she could write or tell anybody who had done it to her, rather than like just kill her because they were like that they thought it'd be more fun that way.
It's so fucked up. And then Moore brings her to Reese, who reads her mind, and then tells Moore who did it, and then Moore fucks these guys up.
Yeah, nice. I want to watch that movie instead.
Yeah.
That reminds me of wait, Ian, you said fuck, I forgot I'm outnumbered. You haven't seen or read Twilight, right? Except for the one movie we watched.
Yeah, part of one.
There's a part in the third book where you find out something not this bad, but similar happened to one of Edward's sisters, and then she talks about how she like one by one she turned into a vampire, and then like one by one hunted them down, like in the order, like just so that they would all know that something was coming for them each night, one at a time. And then she saved like her fiance for last, who orchestrated the whole thing and wore her wedding dress and covered it in his blood while she killed him. And the whole
Dude,
it's
that's
like
wild.
It's like, oh shit, this is a way better story than the one we're hearing about.
Oh yeah. I'd read that book.
Yeah, it's very fun. So yeah, anyway, we learn about all that stuff, and basically another important note is that like a lot of priestesses there had like similar experiences somehow. How did that happen?
Or some sort of
some
bad
terrible thing
experience
happened
where, like,
to them. Yeah.
Yeah. Where the library is now kind of like a safe haven for them.
Mm-hmm. Right. Okay, so and
we also learned the library has some terrible something in the pit of it.
Oh,
like,
yeah. There's like a fucking sarlacc or something under the...
Yeah. It's all built around and over, like, there's like crossway, like bridges and stuff crossing over like some huge dark pit. And then Reese dared Cassian one time to go down there, and Cassian did it and came back like Ghostface, and he was like, and Reese was like, I'm gonna do it now. Cassian's like, don't you ever fucking go down there. Like, Cassian's just like, never go down there. I'm wondering if that, like, we learn about a bunch of gods later in this chapter, and like one of like, so the bone carver, the weaver, and then there's like, they have an older
like a
brother
third sibling,
who's, is the third sibling living in the bottom of this pit or something like that?
Totally,
like,
that sounds totally possible to me. Yeah,
or
although
are we just never gonna learn anything about the thing in the pit?
I feel like Sarah's pretty good about planting information that comes back later.
It does seem like
I don't know if there's a lot of wasted information in these books.
Yeah, it does seem like it's like one of those like unknowable horrors, like a Cthulhu-esque thing. So I think that your guess is pretty good that it's like their third sibling. But it's like in its true form or whatever, you know. Also,
and especially if the third sibling is like death reincarnate or whatever, like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't come in the pit, man. Okay, so they find out that the wall was not built to last in the first place, and Feyre also talks to Rhys about if he thinks that he could win a fight with the King of Hybern one-on-one, which I did not think that was ever a possibility, and he's like, I don't really know. Which I think that would be a huge gambit. But also he does point out that...
If Rhys just walked up to Hybern and he's like, one-on-one me, bro.
Yeah, 1v1 me. Final destination. No items. Fox only. But like, I think that Rhys is right when he says like, even if I could take him one-on-one, I don't think Hybern would like ever agree to that. Like, why would he when he has such a big army? Like, there's no reason he would agree. So... we get to Amren and Nesta have finished a lesson, or rather they're doing a lesson, and they seem to be getting along in a weird way, maybe because they're both sociopaths, I don't know. And Feyre has a nightmare about Under the Mountain again. So the next part is basically Rhys and Feyre and Cassian go to that weird rock prison. Did it have a name?
I thought it was just like the prison.
The prison. Great. Okay. And they because Feyre has the idea to like maybe the bone carver can help us if it's like really as powerful as Amren, you know. And that at that point Cassian reveals, I think, that they are actually, the bone carver is like an old god. So
no, Cassian doesn't reveal that. I don't think we don't find out about that until they go to the prison.
Oh, okay, maybe yeah.
Yeah, I think Feyre learns that at the prison, and then she asks Cassian when they leave. Like she's like, "Did you know?" And he's like, we had a theory."
Oh, right.
So, but yeah, and then she asks Rhys like, "Hey, do you think this is a good idea?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm sure." Like, and this has been a couple times now. She's asked Rhys if she can do something crazy, expecting him to like kind of push back, and Rhys is kind of like,
"Yeah,
hey
whatever.
Man, whatever you think, whatever will help, because we're kind of fucked over here."
I'm glad that he's open to new ideas. So yeah, Cassian and Feyre go into the prison together, and I think
before this, did we already talk about Amren and Nesta training?
Yeah, just briefly, but yeah.
Oh, sorry, I missed that.
So yeah, we also learned that like the bone carver, like we don't like Rhys, or not Rhys, nor did any of his ancestors or anybody like put him in the prison. Nobody really knows how he got in there, and we'll learn in a minute here why that is. But they go down, and lo and behold, I think it was Joe's prediction, but our prediction.
Yeah,
was
Joe had a theory in the second.
Spot on. Book. Yeah, like the second that we saw that child, he was like, "That's their future child." So nice work on that.
Which I didn't even think about that at the time. I thought it was someone, but like Joe was like, "I bet that's their kid." Yeah. And then he said that to us in the podcast, and we're like, "Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
that's
that
smart."
Makes sense.
And then Lindsay, and then Lindsay, I think, kind of inadvertently confirmed his suspicion because she said, I think after the episode, she said Joe had some crazy prediction in the last episode that was somehow right, and ended up re-listening to our predictions, and I was like, oh, it's probably that one.
Yeah. So we go in, and so she is the bone carver is in the guise of like their future son. But I think that they also say like it's the son that they could have one day if they don't fucking die in this war, not like a preordained thing. So the basically the bone carver gives us like some info on himself and reveals that the Weaver, that weird Dark Souls monster from the cabin, was his sister, who both of them are, you know, like these Elden gods here.
Which like they predate even the creation of Prythian.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So he also talks about like that there was like a disturbance in the Force when Nesta emerged from the cauldron.
Yeah, and we've talked about this a couple times. I think they allude to Nesta's like powers. They've been alluding to it a lot in this book so far. Like I think in the last set of chapters 11 through 17, when Farah sees her again, she's kind of like, oh, there's some like aura coming off Nesta, and then Amryn even says like, oh, you're different. Like Amryn says like, you're different. You took more, like you don't belong in this world or something. Like you don't belong to this world or something. Amryn says something like that in 11 through 17. And in the beginning of this chunk of chapters, I can't remember what it is, but oh yeah, like Nesta when she's threatening to rip out their throats, and even Cassian and Rhys are like, yeah, I wouldn't put it past her. Like I remember like there's like she's like has a threatening energy in this one that like they don't want to challenge her on. And then Amryn agrees to train her and everything. So like they keep laying breadcrumbs that Nesta is like has some sort of crazy power.
Yeah, they've definitely been building it up a lot. So I'm curious what and why. But I mean like we get a little hint because it says that like she took something from the cauldron when it took something from her. So like
yeah.
I don't know. We're getting a little hint of it, but yeah. So, basically, Feyre's like, okay, hey, we need your help. If you come out here and like fight with us in this war, like you know, we think we have a way to like get you back to where you came from, to whatever like dimension or world that is or whatever. And he's like, but I don't want to go. And you're like, what? Because he's like, no, I'm good where I am.
I think he specifically says that like his world is destroyed.
Yeah.
Like he's like, my world, there's nothing left. I'm cool here. And also like not only just I'm cool in this world, I'm cool in this prison cell.
Right.
Because my older siblings are fucking nuts.
Yeah. So like I'm safe in here, so I'm cool chilling out here. And so there was a there's some like lore here about like we learned their names and stuff. But anyway, sorry, I'm like trying to remember exactly what happened in that, because there was like the oldest brother Kosh or whatever. Anyway.
Oh yeah, the California Kolsch.
California Kosh, yeah. So anyway, he's hiding in the prison from his siblings though, so they're all gods of death. Specifically,
it's also interesting that like, the Weaver's real name is Striga, which is like an ancient. That's like a mythological monster that like, it's in the Witcher series.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, huh?
Like when they said Striga, Striga or Striga or whatever, I was like, oh, like I think Striga's in the Witcher series of being like a mythological like. I want to say she's like a big bad in the Witcher series or something like that. So it's interesting.
It's a female vampiric demon from Slavic folklore.
Yeah. So like Geralt fights, I think, a Striga at least once or twice in the Witcher series. So like it's interesting that that's probably the, imagining the Weaver as that creature. I'm like, oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Dude, this is a fucked up picture. I have never seen or imagined anything like this. But anyway,
show us.
I will send it in the chat.
It has to be the one from the first game.
Anyway, so.
Oh, that is not from the Witcher game.
No, that's not that. That's like a from like the Slavic folklore tales of what it is. Anyway, So basically they like don't have anything to offer the bone carver at this point. He's like, look, man, I'm good here. Like, whatever happens out there, like, that sounds like it's your problem. And I also don't want my siblings to, like, remember that I'm alive, because if they want to, like, come after me, like, they could get me. So he says that Feyre
But then
finally...
he starts being like, he's like, you're going to the night court after this, right?
Yeah.
And Feyre's like, yeah, like, it's not your business, whatever. He's like, and then he's doing his whole like riddle talking, like, ooh, they have an interesting mirror called the Ouroboros, which is also like, the Ouroboros is like that's another mythological creature.
Yeah, the serpent that's eating its own tail. Eating its,
yeah. What is it? What is the Ouroboros in like mythology? What does that mean again?
It's Norse.
Yeah,
it's the world serpent, I think.
Is it? Yeah, it's some sort of like. I know it's like symbolically used all the time for like, okay, it's an ancient symbol appearing in Egyptian, Greek, Gnostic, and alchemical traditions. It signifies the cycle of life and death and renewal. But yeah, it's...
That doesn't really seem... That name doesn't actually seem to really apply to what the powers of this mirror are, actually.
Yeah.
Because the mirror lets you see... a window to the world where all could be seen and told through its surface. Yeah,
so basically he says, like, okay, side quest. If you guys want to like, fetch me something, there's a mirror that Keir has, like a scrying mirror, basically, I think, is what he's describing. That's like an heirloom. And he's like, if you can get that and bring it to me, then I will come out there and like fight for you if you can like free us and everything.
Is this the same mirror they used in the last book to show the queens, or is it a different mirror?
I don't know. Maybe that wasn't
How many
really
mirrors
made.
Do they have?
There's probably more than one mirror in the Night Court of Nightmares.
No,
so and if the Court of Nightmares has all these,
sorry,
I was gonna say, wasn't the thing with the queens something that allowed them to show their thoughts or memories?
It showed not just thoughts. It showed like it was like a truth mirror. So it showed something that they knew was truthful, and they used it to show Valaris. So it showed like, oh, this is a real snapshot of Valaris. They used it for that to prove that Valaris was actually a true and peaceful place.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's the same. It sounds like kind of vaguely a similar. What was that?
Was it an orb or was it a mirror?
Actually,
maybe it was
sounds
an
like
orb.
it might be an orb now, and like a
you're right.
fortune-telling ball.
I forgot about that. It was an orb because and then it casts like a projection in the sky.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I'm thinking of the mirror from Beauty and the Beast that Belle uses to see her father.
You beasted yourself, dude. That's crazy. Oh my god. Okay, so they also hint at that like Nesta could have some powers that she is borrowing from death itself, like a warlock basically. So I guess we'll see what comes of that. So back at the ranch, Elaine is not doing well. She's like talking sort of in riddles and like doesn't seem to like be 100% like, oh, she seems like she's like dissociating.
Well, but they find her also in the library, not
so she's gotten out of her room,
trapped up in her room, and now she's in the library. So she changed rooms at some point. I guess it was like when Nesta went to go train with Amryn, she came back and Elaine was in a different room.
Yeah.
I think this is a different day.
Which freaked her out. What was that, Ian?
I think this is a different day.
I think that she mentioned something about like when did she like start leaving her room, and she's like I think Nesta was like, oh, when I was like off training maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I
Oh, I thought it was when she woke up in the morning, didn't find Elaine in her bed.
Maybe that also.
Or in her room.
That sounds familiar.
Oh, maybe it was
too.
that.
Yeah. Anyway,
I thought I remember like Nesta blaming herself for not being there, and Elaine left.
Oh, that might be it. Yeah. Anyway, so Elaine is wandering around, and Lucian shows up in the library. He is not really expecting to find Elaine there. He just is kind of walking around.
Well, first off, Nesta, like, Farah asks Nesta, she's like, hey, I got to talk to you about something can you help me find a book real quick?
Can you help me?
And they go to another aisle to look for a book, and then Farah puts an air bubble around them so they can't be heard. And then, okay, what are they talking about again?
They're hiding behind the bookshelf, and I can't remember what it is they're talking about. But
I think they're just talking about Elaine, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They're just talking about how they're worried about Elaine.
Her riddle.
Yeah.
The riddle she's spouting.
So Lucian shows up, and things start off pretty badly because right off the bat, she's like, oh, yeah, I remember you. Did you betray us in Highburn? And, I mean, Lucian, I guess to his credit, just all he says is it was a mistake. Like, he doesn't try to deny it or anything. But yeah, I feel like they spend a lot of words here on like how Lucian is like agonizing over every single second of being in the same room with her. And,
yeah, because we can't forget Farah is like reading his mind.
Yes. Yeah. So that's another thing.
Yeah. I mean, originally she doesn't. And then she's like, I'm going to just have a little sneaky peek.
Yeah. Let me just, as a treat.
Yeah. I'm going to just hop into his mind real quick. And I forgot, this is apparently the second time she read his mind. I forgot what the first time was.
Yeah, I didn't remember either. But
it was sometime earlier in the book. But yeah, she jumps into his mind, and then we get the whole conversation from his point of view to find out that he is actually concerned. It's not just like an act. But we also get a little bit of the whole mate lusting thing where he's like, he just wants to be with her so badly. Talks about how beautiful she is, and but he's obviously very, very concerned about her
mental state, and like,
yeah,
she also
I think he even says like, oh, the Viper is going to be back any second, I got to get out of here.
Yeah, his inner monologue calls Nesta Viper.
Yeah. So one other thing, and Elaine is still pretty caught up on the fact that she was supposed to be married in a few days.
Oh, yeah, that's what happened, because she asked before Farah jumps into Lucian's mind. She asks, oh, you betrayed us. And then she's like, did you know I'm supposed to be married in 2 days? And Lucian's like, yeah.
My bad.
Whoops.
And he's like, oh, he jumps, and he's like, he's like in his mind. I think actually once then Farah goes into his mind, Lucian's like, yeah, fuck this other guy. She's supposed to be married to some other dude. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, fuck him.
I don't know.
Yeah, so Lucian basically says, like, you need to get her out of, like, tell Farah, like, you need to get Elaine, like, out of the house, and Farah agrees and says, I'm gonna send all of you to go live in the townhouse because, like, you're not doing well in this, like, Castle of Winds or whatever it is that they're staying in. Get out into the town and stuff, you know? So, I remember she says that to Reese, and he's just like, he sends her back, like, a thumbs up emoji, like, through her mind. And then, so Farah, talks, a little bit about, like, with Reese about, like, mating bonds, which this actually I liked because I liked getting some, like, understanding of what this thing is supposed to be. Because it, like, I think what Reese says...
I mean, this goes back to, like, I think we had a discussion in the last book even. We've had this discussion multiple times now about mating bonds and this all-powerful magic we're, predetermined to be together nonsense. We've talked about it before, like, oh, what mating bonds this... We've had I can't remember exactly what we said in the past, but Farah and Reese now are talking about a lot of the same talking points we've discussed previously.
So...
And it's very validating to hear them talk about it.
I agree. I liked what they kind of Reese's conclusion was because I think that it makes the most sense as a sort of like evolutionary mechanism to like try to produce like the strongest offspring essentially.
Yeah, that was a good explanation. It's not it's not saying that these two people are going to be the best match together or they're going to be in
like
love.
Soulmates or whatever,
gives examples of she gives examples of Tamlin's parents who were a terrible match. She gives an example of Tamlin's parents, who are a terrible match. Sorry, I got the balloons. Nirav missed it. Nirav missed some balloons.
Sorry, it was yawning big. What happened?
This happened. Some balloons on my screen. Anyways, she gives the example that Tamlin's parents were a terrible match. Gives the example that Reese's parents are a terrible match. And in the context of talking about this, they get to the town. We've skipped over this part. They get to the townhouse, and Azriel's just being really nice to Elaine. And as they get to the townhouse, Azriel's like, "Do you want to go see the garden?" And Elaine's like, "Yeah, I'd love to." So like Azriel, as just a gentleman, just being a nice person, offers his arm, leads her outside to go see the garden. Lucian's fuming about this, and Feyre's observing them walking through the garden and being a busybody, talking to Reese, and she's like, "Wouldn't Azriel and Elaine be a better match than Lucian and Elaine?"
Yeah, because he's like a very kind of gentle soul, you know.
Yeah,
but
so that's what kind of starts this conversation, and then Reese reconfirms like Azriel only has eyes for one person, and he's had eyes for her for 500 years. And I think Feyre was kind of like, well, if they were determined to be mates, wouldn't that mating bond have snapped in place already? And Reese says, I think, oh yeah, Azriel's been asking that question for hundreds of years now. But yeah, that's how we got on the topic of like, are mating bonds really like the end all be all of relationships? And not only does Reese kind of give that analogy of like, you know, just because Feyre's like, oh, just because there's a mating bond doesn't mean they're gonna be a good match. And Reese says, not necessarily, yeah, as you said, like mating bond just how you produce the strongest heir. And he says, yes, you can deny a mating bond. So like if Lucian goes to Elaine and Elaine says no, Elaine can deny the mating bond, but even after denying it, that mating bond will still be there, like always persistent, always following you for the rest of your life or whatever. Like that mating bond is there even if you deny it, which seems really annoying. But that mating bond's always in place, and Elaine can go be with someone else. But then, like, traditionally the men, when they get denied their mating bond, like, luckily in the Night Court, this isn't really the case anymore, but traditionally, oftentimes, like, fairy men would, like, kill people because, like, I think Reese actually says on the continent outside of Prythian, mates are seen as actual property.
Yeah.
So it's even worse, and we've talked about this before, like the whole property thing. Like, I mean, fucking Tamlin would love the continent. But he says like in the Night Court, it's illegal to kill for those reasons.
Right.
So,
yeah.
But it often drives men into or males, not men's. By the way, Ian, after you brought up the whole female male thing, oh my gosh, I haven't been able to unhear it now.
It does make. Like I said, there's an explanation, but it still makes me feel weird.
I didn't even think about it until Ian brought it up, and I'm like, fuck, every time they say females now, I'm like, damn it, Ian.
It's a lot, too.
Yeah.
It's all the time. It's a lot, yes.
Even stuff, it's like, just like a male. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. I've been talking a lot.
I was going to say, I agree. I like the fact that they sort of brought up this whole mating bond conversation. I will say, I don't know exactly what the discourse around the second book was, but this kind of feels like a response to people being like, yo, is this mating bond is kind of fucked up? And she's like, no, it's not. It's actually perfect. It all works out every time.
It could be
I didn't
because...
think about that. That's funny.
But I know between the second and third book, there was actually some time, and she wrote some of those Throne of Glass books and everything too. So like, it definitely could have been a response to that kind of thing. I don't know, or just or just like a self-correction clarification.
Yeah, I also just listened to on the way back from vacation video essay on Harry Potter by this YouTuber named Sean.
Oh, we don't say that name. We don't say that name here.
Oh, we can't. We have to say
the magic. We see the magic boy.
The magic boy.
The magic school books. Talking about how the author would constantly respond to criticisms in like a later book and be like, "You guys think this was bad? I'll show you." Like, very petty.
That doesn't sound like her. No way.
Yeah.
So maybe when I was reading this, I was like, this sounds like they're just responding. Sarah's just responding to what someone might have said about this whole mating bond situation.
It's funny. I don't really want to talk about those forbidden books, but I didn't actually know that, and that is very funny.
That is funny to me. In a less for maybe a different author to talk about that. I know George R.R. Martin has said after he wrote the first book, the first Game of Thrones book, he got completely obsessed and to a very unhealthy point of reading like comments and fan letters about like what they liked and what they didn't like, to the point where like he realized like they were writing the book for him, the second book, and he like kind of cut himself off like wholesale from like reading fan theories and then like people like complaining about X, Y, or Z like part about the lore. And then like from then on he was just like I'm completely unplugging from this, because like they were changing what the story was by like me reading like the criticism or whatever.
But I do think that unfortunately for him, Game of Thrones got so big it was impossible to avoid, because it can't be a coincidence that after the Game of Thrones show ended, George R.R. Martin was like, I'm done with the books.
No, that's definitely, yeah. I mean, that I know that sixth book is done and it's sitting on his shelf and he will never release it because he's so afraid. But
yeah, or maybe it's not afraid. Maybe it's just like.
I think he's got a kill switch button. Like as he's dying, he's gonna hit this big red button and it's gonna like shoot the book out into all the bookstores. It's like,
yeah,
all right, I don't have to deal with the fallout of this. Yeah, anyway, so, all right, so the last bit we have here is sort of a little wind-up chapter because we are going to the Court of Nightmares. So we got the whole squad. Rhys, Feyre and Rhys talk about, like, she's like, what kind of, like, face do you want me to put on for this? Like, am I going to be, like, a regal queen or what? And Rhys is like, hey, I trust your judgment. Like, read the room, see what you need to see. You know, you're the High Lady. You have to start making decisions like this too, which I was surprised at, frankly, and appreciated. And then they get to the Court of Nightmares. Feyre, I remember that like they get there and Rhys immediately puts on his like mean boy face. He puts his sunglasses on and he's like, all right, well, thank you for welcoming me so graciously. I'm going to ignore the fact that you've only put one throne here.
Your audio's cutting in and out, at least on the... Might just be on Discord, I don't know.
It might be. Let me see if let me double check.
Check your recording. I can't hear you, though.
It looks like my mic is picking everything up, but it may be an internet situation. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
I can now.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Yeah, and Feyre also, they talk about their outfits too. Mm-hmm. Like Feyre puts on like almost black red lipstick, and they're wearing like, and then when they're getting ready, he produces like a crazy cool like crown for her to wear and a matching one for him to wear. Like they have these matching crowns, like they're like totally matchy power couple shadow vibes. And then Nesta, she's in some dress that's like not too fancy, but like very like sleek, and it's like a long black gown that touches like a stark black gown. Like I think Amryn dressed Nesta or something like that. I don't know. It's just so interesting. All their whole outfits as they approach this is like so like coordinated, and planned for like the powerful image they want to show when they show up to the court. But yeah, and they show up, and there's only one throne, and Rhys, and then immediately Pharaoh's the one who sits on the throne, and then Rhys sits on the arm of the throne like he's her arm candy, and then everyone in the crowd is like, they're gawking, they're like gasping in surprise, and Rhys is like, I'm gonna assume there's only one throne because we caught you off guard, but next time I expect 2 thrones. This is disrespectful. And then people in the crowd, like Feyre kind of feels like tendrils of power coming up to kind of check her out, to kind of like test to see how powerful she is. And then she like strikes with her power and like digs her powerful, like her, like, there's all like imagine like shadowy things that other people can't see, but like she can see, I guess. Like she digs her like night claws into their little like probing tendrils, and 3 people in the crowd all like yelp. And then she just digs her claws in more. And Reese is like, "Isn't it? Don't you know it's like not polite to touch a lady without consent?" And then she digs her claws in more and then releases them. I think one person passes out, one person like straight up dips, and another
yeah. Nice. So yeah, they eventually do get to like sit down with Kier and begin like talking with him about like what they need, and they kind of like restate like Kier has the ability to like choose when and how to deploy that army under the Court of Nightmares army. So Reese, it basically comes down to like, look, Kier's like, look, I can't help but sympathize with the cause of my friend Highburn, and obviously he's working them up because he's going to ask them for something. And he says that he wants Feyre. And Reese is like, I'll kill you with my own hands, you son of a bitch. So I don't really know what he meant by that, by I want Feyre. Like, because I feel like there's a few ways that could go.
You don't know what he meant by that?
I mean, is that really what... Oh, okay.
That's absolutely what he means.
Motion. I just was making sure that was what he meant, because I was like, that's crazy.
It is absolutely what he meant by that.
That's so crazy.
It is crazy, which is why Reese was like, hey, man, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, right. And then Reese is like...
Oh, I was just going to say, I doubt that's what he's really going to ask for. Because it sounds to me like, you know how they always say in negotiations, ask for something way too big first?
Oh, yeah.
And then when they say no to that, ask for what you really want?
Right. Maybe that...
I think
so. I wonder if it was
that arrogant that he actually would try to ask for that, though.
That's possible. Yeah, I don't know.
Like, the attitude that Kier had going into this meeting is that he held all the... he had all the cards, right? Mm-hmm. Like, he came into the meeting and he was like, you want my army. And Reese was like, cool, thanks for cutting to the chase. Started to beat around the bush. And then Kier's, like, in every exchange with Kier, he's had this really, like, super arrogant... I think Ferris said, like, oh, like, the past couple 100 years have taught Kier the art of... I forgot the word she used, but, like, being a dick, basically.
The art of being a dick.
Like, every answer he gave was, like, snobby... and like you want to punch this dude in the face. Honestly, I think we talked about this last time he showed up, but he gives like super big like worm tongue vibes.
Yes, yeah, I think we talked.
Oh no, actually, so worm tongue or like a Denethor. I think Denethor is the one who's head of Minas Tirith when they.
He's
show
the
up,
one
right?
who eats that strawberry bad. Or tomato.
Yes.
It's a tomato.
Yeah, the tomato.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely like Denethor vibes from Minas Tirith, like that. Like
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then we have a last little reveal before we end our group of chapters here, because Reese is like, all right, bring him in, and Eris walks in, who was Lucian's brother, out of seemingly nowhere, and he's like, did anybody miss me? And then it ends.
I'm like a little confused how no one knew, like where was he?
He was like in the green room. He's like off to the side.
Like, how did he get in? How did no one know he was there? Including Feyre. I mean, actually, maybe Feyre may have known.
Or
like
more
did not know.
Mm-hmm. Unless it's not actually him.
Oh, you think it's not actually him?
Oh, like an illusion or something?
I mean, I've been thinking about this, like trying to figure out what's the usefulness of just bringing in a random guy. Like, I don't see how he plays any part in their debate or their negotiation yet. And then
I think
when and how did Rysand get a hold of him?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Rysand was like busy. Like, we didn't really see much beside the library. He wasn't like, we didn't see anything of him for the last few chapters.
Yeah.
So, Because yeah, Reese is like, hey, I thought you were gonna be an asshole about this, so like the fact that Eris walked in means he's not like a prisoner or anything like that. Like it's not like he's a prisoner and he's brought in like oh hey, like Reese is gonna threaten Eris's life or something like that. Like there's some deal that's about to go down. Or I guess Reese probably proposed Eris, because Eris, last we saw Eris is that he attacked who ended up being the High Lady of the Night Court, and Eris was like, "Oh fuck, I'm screwed." So Reese could have acted on that, right? Either Reese was like, "Hey, you have to make amends for attacking the High Lady of the Night Court, and I know how you're gonna do it," or Eris like knew he fucked up and he was proactive in being like, hey, I'll make a deal to like save my ass. And like maybe Eris is gonna like offer, maybe Eris will do like offer up, I don't know, like maybe because like we've talked about before, like, oh, if we kill if the head of the Autumn Court dies, Eris is the next in line. So maybe we don't know what the relationship is between the head of the Autumn Court and Kier, but maybe it's something to do with that. Like, hey, Eris is like, hey, I'm going to kill my dad, then I'll be in charge next. And I'll promise good trade with the Night Court. I don't know. I don't fucking know what these fairies do. Like, I don't know what they care court to court stuff, but I don't know. It's probably something to do with like Eris's position in the Autumn Court, right? Or maybe he has information about the Autumn Court and he's betraying his father. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that may be true, but like, why? Why would that happen out of nowhere? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's what I said about
think they
Eris
talked about dealing with Eris and the father at this big meeting that's coming up.
Yeah.
Implying that well, at least it seems like they don't have other plans for them beforehand. But they do have his brother, who they're friends with. I wonder if it would be hard to make Lucian look like Eris or pass off as like Eris.
Oh, you think Lucian is being Eris right now?
Potentially.
Where's a fun idea?
But again, I have no clue how that gives them any leverage.
Yeah, like why does Kier care about Eris?
Unless there's some stipulation in the agreement between the Court of Nightmares and Rysand, where if like the Kier is killed in like an act of war, Rysand gains control, and so he has Eris kill Kier, and so it's a attack by a different court.
So also worth noting that Moore was, so Eris is the guy that Moore was betrothed to. Mm-hmm. So we don't know what was in that original deal of Moore and Eris's betrothal.
Yeah, that's fair.
But we do know that Eris and the Autumn Court, basically they backed out of that betrothal. But like, I don't know, what if part of that betrothal was Eris and Moore get married, and because of that, their heir would have been like if Eris and Moore had a child, that child would have been heir to the Night Court or something like that. So maybe Eris, by some weird contractual thing, is the next in line to get the Night Court. Probably not.
That seems like a crazy.
It's got to be something. It's got to be something about the Eris and Moore betrothal and that being backed out, and right? Like I don't know what else it would be, because that is Kier's relationship with Eris in the Autumn Court is that betrothal. So
yes,
something around that.
Maybe. I guess we can slide right into like trying to make some hard predictions here. So,
we're kind of talking about that right now.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. So I don't know. I think I'll stray away from this, but I will say that, I think Lucian is going to get like his loyalty tested like in this next part here, because I think that if I don't know, because I keep feeling like something is going to happen where Lucian is going to have to like actually prove that he is loyal. He's going to be loyal to these Night Court folks, like independent of Elaine or whatever. And I wonder if that means like Tamlin trying to come and be like, no, you work for me, like, come back to the Spring Court, and him being able to say, like, no, I'm not going to do that, or something like that. I don't know if that'll happen in this next bit of chapters, because I'm starting to agree, like, I don't think Tamlin's going to show up to this meeting, but, like, I don't know, I'm thinking that's going to happen at some point, and I think that it needs to be, because we talked about this at the beginning of the book, too, like, Lucian really needs to show that he's like he is a good guy independent of his mating bond to Elaine. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that can't be the reason that he's like a good guy. It's not redemption, really, at that point.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I was curious of when or how that's going to happen. But I think that's something that's coming.
I mean, I don't think we talked about it, but they did actually talk about that in this chunk of chapters. I think Farah even asks asks Rhys, like, do you trust Lucian?
Yeah.
Because you've told Lucian a bunch of information, and Rhys is like, the information we've given has been public knowledge anyways. But I think Rhys is like, he's like, oh yeah, Lucian was wearing that fox mask for a reason.
Oh yeah, what was that about?
I mean, Lucian is like him, like, giving all the secrets of the Autumn Court to Azrael and working with. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so Azrael and Lucian had a whole meeting together, and Lucian gave Azrael a bunch of information. And I think previously he had the fox mask before because he went to the Spring Court and he gave a bunch of Autumn Court information potentially to Tamlin as well. Like, Lucian is someone who will do what he can to save his own skin and what he cares and what he wants, maybe. So, like, he's a fox in that regard, like, kind of, like, sneaky, right?
I don't think that's what they mean by... I think the fox mask is, like, his crafty, observant, intelligent nature.
Oh, okay.
Because I as we talked about it, I think the fox mask comment came after they had their discussion, like, over dinner. And Lucian was like, can I give you Rhysand some advice? And he has, like, very astute advice about navigating the different courts in the big meeting. I don't think it's like he's always, like, betraying people. I think it's
yeah,
like,
I guess I didn't mean that necessarily, but
observant and in touch with what's going on much more than he maybe seems. Because he was just like the aloof guy. But he's actually, like, really connected to all the different courts. Yeah,
that's a good point. So yeah, I think it makes they were talking about that, so I think it makes sense that loyalty thing was probably a seed planted for something that will come back. Is how at some point, you're right, he will be faced with a decision of, like, because right now he's in the Night Court because he didn't have a choice. So at some point, like, he will have a choice, and I'm curious to see when that will be.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it'll be immediate. But I was thinking of Eris more. Like, I think for whatever reason Eris is here, Eris, we know, is someone who is out to save himself. Like, I think whether Rhys approached him or he approached Rhys, I think he realizes that his court is kind of like he's offended the Night Court, and now that Lucian is in the Night Court, who knows what Lucian has told the Night Court about the Autumn Court. So it could be Eris being proactive and, like, I don't even think he's here. I wouldn't think he's here to protect the Autumn Court. I think he's here to save his own skin in some way and make some deal that helps himself.
Yeah, that's true. I don't get the impression he cares that much about his own court.
Probably not. No.
All right. Well, yeah. Let's. All right. I guess we can go ahead and wrap it up. So. Nice. All right. Well, thank you guys for listening. We're going to be jumping right into the action on the next set of chapters, which is nice because, yeah, we were talking about a little bit before. The first part of this dragged a little bit, and then, like, definitely picked up near the end. So I'm interested to see where we go after this.
Next chapters are 26 to 31 if you want to follow along at home.
Yeah, read along at home. Yeah, but we should be back on a regular schedule now, so we should be, like, I think this one is going to be out on is it the 10th? Or the 9th. And then we'll be back on the every 2 week schedule after that. So, yeah, thanks for listening. I don't know if we have any announced. Oh yeah, the theme song is Red Queen by Parachutes. They have a bunch of new music dropping very soon. I'll link that whenever that does happen. And yeah.
Do we have the new recording of Red Queen yet? I know you said they're doing a studio recording.
Let me check in and see if they have that mastered yet, because I had already recorded it when I talked to them. It just hadn't been like mixed and mastered yet. But yeah, cool. I know we'll also be utilizing that whenever we get that. Okay, so yeah, I guess in the meantime we could keep on trucking, and I guess that's supporting local bookstores maybe.
That sounds great. Keep on trucking, everyone.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Keep on trucking.
Keep on trucking, and a Happy New Year.
Yeah, hope everyone had a good holidays.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Happy New Year to everybody, too, for sure. Oh, yeah, did everyone make a New Year's resolution?
My New Year's resolution is to keep on.
Okay, great. Good outro.
Oh, yeah.
See you guys. Bye.
Music, don't resist. Gotta keep on moving. Here comes the music, just give in. Gotta keep on